Hello, Lives on the Road. Uh-oh. Well, it says I'm on. I don't know what happened. So, hello, Lives on the Road subscribers and followers. Right out of the right out of the gate, boy, we had a problem. Hello, Harry, how are you? And Doug and Oscar. Lisa, good to see you. Hello, hello. Terry Cobb's here. Great to see you. Camper's great. Let's see. Hello, Rob and Carolyn. Did great on your camper. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm really happy with the camper. It's done really. I mean, I'm very proud of it. Got a lot of feedback saying it's never going to work, but every time someone said that it wasn't going to work, for whatever reason, I would Google it and it would come up and say, nope, it's going to do fine. I mean, one of the biggest things was it's not going to survive the UV, but it's UV rated. And a lot of people gave me a YouTube channel called Paul Eklund. And he actually makes little homeless shelters out of this. And he's got one that's lasted 4 years, he said. And he showed it, and it looks fairly decent. So, boy, I hope the notifications go out soon, because 9 people, this is going to be a boring day, isn't it? So yeah, I'm really proud of it. It's complete. There's the notification. So the whole camper is complete, and maybe when we get a few more people, I'll see if everybody wants to see it. I'll give us a little walk around. Now I have my mobile device, I can do that. my jetpack. Hello, Taikoi, good to see you. And Oscar, good to see you. Just came up. Well, yeah, I mean, it just came up on mine too. I mean, that's no big deal. It's only 2 minutes, so. But we were just sitting here yabbering on about the camper and the corrugated plastic, and it's very exciting. I'm very happy with it. Might do a little walk around later. Did you get your vehicle fixed? Well, I didn't have a problem with the vehicle. I got the camper. I put the corrugated plastic around all the camper now. Yeah. Nah, the damage, we just covered up with that corrugated plastic, so it's really good. Hello, MA. Good to see you. Yes. Everybody's on time. But yeah, we've got that all completed. And I'll give us a little walk around later if everybody wants to see it. The plastic was a fantastic. I'm telling you, I mean, well, I appreciate that, Lisa. I really do. You know, I wanted to do this over the winter, but I just couldn't find anything that I could figure out that would work. And I'm telling you, as soon as Carolyn showed me that stuff, and we did a little research on it to make sure it was UV rated, you know, really good stuff. Like they said, there's a YouTube channel called Paul Eklund, and he makes all kinds of things out of this stuff. And he made a homeless shelter out of it, out of just yard signs, which is the same material. And one of them lasted for 4 years. He came back to it 4 years later, and it was still standing in great shape. It looks great. So he made a video where he made a doghouse out of one. Boy, and the doghouse was just really simple. He cut it out the front wall, just a little arch type shape. Cut out the back wall the same way, and then wrapped the top over it. He used zip ties to tie it all together. Made a floor. Made some vents. Real simple design. This stuff is so easy to use, easy to cut. Hello, Tom from Texas. Hello, Michelle. What is this? Pia? Is that Pia? It's Saarinen. Hi from Finland. It's 1 a.m. Well, thank you for joining us. Wow. And Christine Viviano, good to see you. If your alert is sent out to Facebook, they had problems all day. Well, yeah, I put it out on Facebook. Facebook doesn't like me. I get suspended from Facebook all the time, and they knock me out. I'm not allowed to do anything on Facebook. They want me to pay $30. I think it's $30 to send out my videos from the... Here's the thing. I built a page. It's got 2,700 people who have liked my page. They follow my page. But then when I get all these people, they want for me to pay to send my video out to these people who have already liked my page. Thanks for the blue sky. Yeah, me too. Thanks. Boy, I really needed it, but you're welcome. Have you done a walkthrough of your living space? Oh, many times. Did a pretty good walkthrough back in, I think, January, December time frame. No, I'm not going to do it live. I mean, you know, the bed's not made. Carolyn's laying here. You know, she's not big on being on camera. Hello, Andrew. Says, have you ever thought about buying an acre somewhere just to stay when there's no camping places, sort of like an emergency place? Well, not immediately. I mean, it's not something I've said no to. It's just something we're not going to do right away. You got to pay taxes and all that. The other thing is you got to think about codes. I mean, are you even allowed to park a camper somewhere? Here, you know, right today I'm on Dad's property. I've been helping him put that roof up, like I said. And we're only allowed without a building permit. Okay, he has a building permit because he's building a house. He lives in his RV, his fifth wheel. But he's not allowed to live in his fifth wheel on his property unless he has the building permit, which he does. So otherwise, he can only stay on the property for 2 weeks. So, and let's see, Christine Chaput. Hello from Kansas, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Well, you stay safe and stay warm. Trish says, hey, grateful days RV life. Summer is on the way, my friend. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to just rub it in everybody's face. It's summertime now. I mean, it's 70 degrees, 80 degrees. You know, I got a sunburn from being up on the roof with Dad today. So, Rob Dunn says, he also made a boat. Yes, he did. He made a boat with a, you're right, this Paul Eklund made a boat with a outboard motor out of this kind of stuff. The post office uses this stuff, little mail totes. So they use a lot of them. Brad says, hello, Rob from Kentucky. And Brandy's from Tennessee. Hello, hello. Hello from Arizona, Pujo. Lori's RV Life. Hello, Tim Donovan. Hey, Tim and Brenda, good to see you. And Bruce is here. What's up, Ed? Brad, looks a nice day out. It's a beautiful day out. Can you remove your camper and still camp in it? No. No, the camper is, the floor of our camper is the is the truck bed. The camper actually rests on the rails of the truck. Because some states, I found out, like Washington State, it's my understanding that if you have a floor on your camper, you have to get it licensed, and then there's all kinds of restrictions, and you have to get tags. So right now, it's just considered payload. So that was one reason. Patricia says, I watch you and other videos all the time, but haven't watched all of them. Well, there's a lot of them. I got 880 videos. So, hello from Western New York. Tom says, got folks from all over today. Yes, Finland. Yes. Lisa says, lucky duck. Yes, I know. Lucky duck. This weather is just perfect. Patricia says, I'm from California. If you wanted to know, well, thank you very much. Love your new camper wrap material. How is that holding up? Oh, it's just perfect. I mean, it's just perfect. Here in a little bit, maybe I'll give us a walk around if everybody wants to walk around. Give me a shout out if you want to walk around. Maybe I'll show everybody. I mean, it's nothing fancy to see. Thanks for keeping it real. Well, my pleasure. Thanks for watching. And Judy says hello. Living the RV local life. Howdy. From Florida here. All right. Well, we're in Florida also. Sunny but cold California, Fresno. Let's see around. I'd like to see it. Everybody wants to see it. Yes, please do a walk around for places where boats, kayaks, and canoes need license permits. Core classifications will not be accepted. Just know that. Have a great night, Rob. Leaving for now. All right, talk to you later, Ed. Okay, let me grab my little jetpack here so we can have a signal. Jetpack. All right. I gotta remember how to do this. How do I? Oh, there it is. What does a shout out mean? I'm not sure what a shout out means. I mean, I'm not sure. P.S. Aaron. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try to, all right, get us out of here without showing. Walk around would be fun. Yeah, I haven't done that since when? Since, when was the last time? Black Hills, I'm trying to think here. Yeah, Black Hills in South Dakota, that's what I'm saying. We did a walk around. All right. All right, I'm going to switch the view so you guys can see from the front side. Make sure my finger isn't covering the camera. Here we go. All right. Guess I got to back up a bit. So, anyway, these nails, they're helix type of nails. Let's see if I can show you what a helix nail looks like. Yeah, I got some right here. I don't know if I can actually show this, but a lot of people were saying that I needed to do a uh-oh. Where are we at here? Okay, there. So a lot of people were saying I need to use screws. Well, I got a big 10-pound bag of these. Well, it's actually a carton, and free. They were free, so I use these. This has got this little grippy thing. So it's unlikely these nails are going to pull out of here. So, and then I siliconed each one, so even the silicone will help hold it in. And then, like I showed you, oh, that's too bright on this side. Let me go back to the other side. Sorry, don't get too sick. See, this is the house Dad's building. Okay, so, and then like here, you know, I put the wrap on. I wrapped it around so that wind would not rip this piece off. And I did the same here. It's all overlapped. Everything's overlapped, so nothing gets ripped off and rain won't come in. And then I put silicone there, of course, or in that case, caulk. But I'm going to do everything in silicone. I'm going to go buy some more silicone. So, yeah, because silicone's UV rated, whereas the caulk isn't. All right, well, I'm going to switch this back to my ugly mug. All right, here we go. I'm going to try to get back into the camper now. Well, it'll help insulate the camper, I think. I think it'll do a little bit better. I don't know how much. Okay, I'm back in. So anyway, yeah, I think it'll help insulate a little bit. But I mean, you know, this insulation here does a fantastic job anyways. All right, I'm going to plug my jetpack back in. And all right, so I'm going to go back and look at the comments that I missed. Hello, NH, how are you? Connie, good to see you. The nails look great, very fashionable. Well, I mean, that's what Carolyn and I thought. It was a little retro look or something. Has chicken pox. Hi, Rob. Got my first starter fixed. Handed over 5 C notes and didn't get enough change back from my Happy Meal. Oh, no. Let's see, Lori. Okay, will it insulate? How it working out with the heat here in Florida? Oh, no, the camper's always done well in the heat. Always. The white really seems to keep it pretty cool in here. As a matter of fact, we went in and had dinner with Dad in his fifth wheel, and he's got the air conditioner on, and it's pretty warm in there. I went into the bathroom where the air conditioner isn't actually cooling anything. It's pretty warm in there, but here it's nice and cool. You know, I'm not sweating. Hi, Connie. Let's see. Thank you, Roy. My husband's a telecommuter and we're contemplating RV living. Do you have any suggestions for internet? Well, I've made several videos. Yeah, first of all, you got to have two providers. One provider isn't going to do it for you. Oh, let me rephrase this. I had one provider for the first year and a half of our adventure, and it just wasn't good enough. It just kept us too restricting. It was just too restricting. We had AT&T. Well, then we got the Verizon Jetpack, It's a prepaid plan, and that really opened up options. I mean, it's really done a great job. You know, we have internet almost all the time now, and when we don't have internet, we can turn on AT&T, and we'll get a little signal through that. So, but yeah, I think you got to have two. It's an extra expense. The AT&T is $20 a month, and our Verizon is $60. I think it's $60. But I have a video on the Verizon. Go check it out. I actually have two videos on the Verizon. Check out the first one first because it shows you how to get it, and then the second one shows you a review. Now, don't expect really high speeds out in the National Forest. You know, when you get out in the National Forest, they're throttling you down to 3G. There's just no towers out there with 4G internet out there. So don't expect high speed, but you'll get some good internet. I mean, here in town, I can upload a video in about 7 minutes. Out in the forest, it took about an hour. That should give you some thermal insulation too. Yeah, I think so. Oscar asked if it's quieter. You know, I just don't know. It's not, I mean, I'm sure it does. It seems like the rain seemed like it was a little quieter, you know, when it rained on it. But I don't know if it's notably quieter. I think our biggest downfall is the windows. You know, we get quite a bit of noise through the windows. Jeff, hello, Jeff, good to see you. Yeah, Verizon's great, but I hear you need T-Mobile in Alaska. Planning right now for that. If anyone knows anything about the ferry in Alaska, we need help on that. Yeah, I don't know anything about Alaska. I have T-Mobile, but what I will tell you about T-Mobile, see it says T-Mobile right there. What I can tell you about T-Mobile, let's see, maybe I can show you. I don't know if you can see that right there. It says searching. It never has a signal, ever. I mean, I've had T-Mobile forever. Since, well, I had this phone since 2012, 2013. And it's just a terrible provider. Absolutely terrible. Amy says, thank you much for the info. Oh, you're welcome. Is the corrugated plastic UV protected? Yes, it is. It's an outdoor use. I mean, just Google it. I mean, it is really good stuff. Now, there are sign manufacturers, people who make signs with this stuff that says don't use it to build, you know, pristine looking things. It's going to warp and fade a little over time. But I've been talking to folks here on the live feed. There's a YouTube channel called Paul Eklund, and he builds things out of these. And 4 years ago, in one of his videos, 4 years ago, he built the homeless shelter, a little homeless shelter, and it's 4 years old, and it looks great. I mean, so it does very well. So I'm pretty excited about this. I think this is going to solve a lot of our problems. And besides, if it doesn't solve the problem, you know how easy this is to fix? I mean, you just take a steak knife. That's what I use. I used a steak knife. I cut all the panels, and you put it up there and you nail it, and it's done. It's just not hard to use. It's not that expensive. You know, it's $20 a panel, and, you know, if a panel goes bad or rips or breaks, I can replace it pretty easily almost anywhere. Of course, I wouldn't do it out in the National Forest because it's illegal out there, but I'm sure I could find some place where I can just pull off, put a panel up real quick. Living the RV, yeah, I hear you, but maybe if you go to Alaska, it might work. Well, yeah, but I'm not going to go to Alaska to find out. Daniel says, long-time caller, first-time listener. Hey, Daniel, good to see you. Welcome to the Little House on the Road live feed. Welcome to the family. Working right now. We'll watch later tonight. All right, talk to you later, Stu. K-Dog says, do you plan to move to a previous manufactured camper again? Do you plan to move up to a previous No. Well, I like our camper. It is better built than a store-bought camper. I know it is better built. It's more solid. I mean, I was just inside Dad's camper. It's very flimsy. Dad's camper is always needing repairs. The slides are always having problems. It's always, well, as a matter of fact, before I leave, I got to get up there and I got to seal up a hole, a water leak right on his camper. It has a lot of issues. This camper's done really well. Now, everybody's going to say, oh, you shouldn't have used Luan. Everybody's been saying this. You shouldn't use Luan on the outside of the camper. Well, I disagree. We did, and it worked great. And no, the Luan didn't fail its job. It did exactly what it was supposed to. What failed was the paint. The paint had some, conditions, and, we did our research on the paint, but it just got too cold for the staples. If it hadn't been for the paint on the staples, the Luan would have been fine. So it's not the Luan that failed, it was the paint on the staples. You can call that my mistake, that's fine. But Carolyn was telling me today, she knows somebody who builds boats out of Luan and then, seals it up with fiberglass. So, I mean, people do it. So we built a camper out of Luan and sealed it with roof cement, and it worked great. So this is just going to, and the thing is even if the paneling doesn't work, the new corrugated paneling doesn't work, and it leaks a little, well, it's just going to leak on the inside, inside in between the Luan, the painted Luan. And so this is like double protection. I'm very excited about this. Andrew says, there's still a lot of places without any zoning laws, Rob, and I did not mean to live on an acre, just stay there in an emergency. Eventually there might be no more free camping spots. Well, if we get to a point where there's no more free camping spots, a couple things. One, I don't know if we're always going to do free camping. I mean, Carolyn and I are getting up there in age, and we may have to, and this is going to answer the other question also, we may have to upgrade to a Class C. We've talked about that quite a bit. That eventually our age is going to require us to move up into something a little bit easier for older people, which also might mean that we go to paid campsites. Look, if if they charge $10 a month, that's $300 or $10 a night, and that's $300 a month. That might be still pretty reasonable for us to do as we get older. But the other thing is if we decide that we don't want to do paid campsites, we will go back to the regular life, I'm sure, go back to a brick and stick. But we're talking years down the road. Right now, I think Florida just has a huge influx of people living free lifestyle out here, and Florida's just saying we've got enough of this. So we'll see how it all works out. Linda says, I like how you left the nails as is. Has a heavy metal military vibe. Paint your camper camo. Yeah, Carolyn and I really thought it was really neat looking once it was all there. Thumbs up, like the button, people. Yeah, hit the like button. M.Mayas says, hi, Rob. How long do you plan to live in a camper? I would say you should upgrade a bit of comfort while you kill your poor wife and yourself. Well, yeah, I mean, it's easy to say we should upgrade, but I don't see anybody saying, here's the check to go along with it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, everything requires a budget. I mean, we could upgrade tomorrow, sell the truck, sell the and buy a Class C and do this lifestyle for another year and be out of money. It could be just that simple. I mean, anytime I see anybody upgrade into a Class C, what I see is people spending all their time in mechanic shops. And I see it after YouTube, after YouTube, after YouTube video. There is this one YouTuber who was actually in a hotel room for 6 months because his fifth wheel was in the shop. His brand new fifth wheel. So here, it took me 4 days working 2 hours a day to fix this. I could have fixed it in one day, but I was still doing YouTube videos and working, so I wasn't spending a lot of time on it. But I didn't have to go and live in a hotel for 6 months while somebody reskinned my camper. So I think there's a lot of advantages to what Carolyn and I are doing. We like to be small and lightweight. We're not using a lot of gas money. I mean, right now we get about 19 miles to the gallon. An upgrade, we'll probably get about 9 miles to the gallon. So there's just a lot of things that when it comes to upgrading, you all of a sudden are spending more. And if anybody knows anything about my channel, it's about minimalization. And the first step in minimalization is reducing your budget. Just, cutting out expenses. It's an absolute must. And then you have to be debt-free. So, you know, we're just not in a position right now where we're like all excited about selling the pickup truck and moving into a Class C and increasing our budget. You know, our budget would probably go up from, I would say $850. Right now it's $850. We'd probably be up to $1,100 a month just by upgrading. Because, you know, then you got to start paying to dump your waste. And you know, there's just more expenses. Gas expense, of course. Heating costs would go up because now you're running more propane to heat the camper. Buddy and Doug's Big Adventure. You may run out of free places in the east, but never in the rock and dirt out west. Run out with the water as possible out west. Well, that's what I was trying to say the other day in the other day's video is the BLMs are not safe. I mean, I did all this research in that video last week. The National Forest and the BLMs are collaborating, trying to figure out how to get revenue. They're losing revenue. So no, it's not always going to be free. They're either going to shut them down or they're going to start charging. My theory is, and it's quite logical, because right now the national park system, you can buy yearly passes. And I think it's called America the Beautiful Pass. I think what's going to happen is the BLM, national parks, and national forests are all going to come together and they're going to say, okay, there's this package that you can buy. Let's say it's $200 a year, $500 a year, where you can stay in these campgrounds. I think that's probably where this is all going to head, so they can continue the revenue stream. So, yeah, for all those people out west who keep telling me the safest place in the world is the BLMs out west, it's not safe. I've read report after report, and every report says these BLMs and the National Forest are running out of money. They're trying, what a lot of these national forests, like the one in Colorado is doing, is actually going to the town, the closest town. It's a ski resort town. So a lot of people come out to this national forest. And so the town is saying, okay, we don't want you to close this campground, so we're going to fund your rangers and department. So here you have this little town funding a federal organization to stay open. So that's Colorado. That's pretty far west if you think about it. So yes, it's all going to be charged. Eventually, you cannot put millions of people out here. I did all the math. It was like there's like 43,000 square miles of BLM land out west. So if you put, you know, 1 million people out on the BLM, you know, you're going to have like 8 people per square mile. And every year it's going to get more and more and more people. This lifestyle is growing exponentially. And I showed you some examples of that. So, I hope that makes sense. Okay, safe travels. All right, living in the RV. John Dickinson, hello, how are you? I can slide you right into an upgraded tarp. Yeah, well, you know, I might just do that there, John. When you BKLV Florida, and then where? When you leave Florida, then where? I'll probably head off to Mississippi, then off to Louisiana, and then up into Colorado. Rob has been doing this for 40 years. No, I haven't. You just wanted me to say that. We bought a Class C and now selling our 25-foot trailer. Oh, that's cool, Roy. Can you show us the inside? I got a video on that back in January. Check that out. I like your challenge of victory attitude and never accepting defeat. Do while you can, then change the lifestyle later when you need to. Thank you very much, Dennis. Yes, that's exactly. I mean, we've ran into a lot of times where defeat was an option, especially when the camper burned down. That took the wind out of our sails pretty quickly. But you know, I went down to the beach and my dad drove by. We were here, and he drove by and he came down into the beach area where we were sitting. And we leaned up against the back of the truck, and I said, do you think we could build a camper in the back of this? And he said, yeah, remember the Alaska camper? Well, I kind of forgotten about it, but he had a Ford Ranger, and he built what he calls the Alaska camper. He took his wife and sister to Alaska on the back of a Ford Ranger, and they built the cab over thing like this with burlap sacks, made it out of burlap, and glue, airplane glue, I think it was, and went up there. It worked great. I mean, they really had a great time. So that was the Alaska camper. And so it can be done, and you just move on to the next step. Still worth it for a few hundred. K-Dog says, still worth it for a few hundred. That would be nice, Rob. One for the fee for a year. Yeah, I agree. Yes, but the campgrounds and BLMs will shut down, but the BLMs allow dispersed camping almost everywhere in the desert. There are a few, very few actual campgrounds. That's what I'm saying, is yes, the National Forest is the same way, buddy. Yes, National Forests have campgrounds, but you can also disperse camp out in the forest, too. The campgrounds are just nice because sometimes they got water. But you're looking at this as the entire National Forest and the entire BLM systems are running out of money. So, you know, when the Rangers come by to your dispersed camping spot and they say, where's your tag? You better produce a tag or you're going to, you know, get a fine or whatever. I think that's what's going to happen. Or when you're out dispersed camping in the National Forest and they say, where's your tag? You better be able to produce a tag. I think it's just going to be one pass to be able to camp anywhere in the National Forest, the BLMs, and the national parks that's legally able to camp at. Finally caught one of your live feeds. Well, thank you, Nomadic Drifter. I do appreciate it. Amy says, how long did it take you to build your camper? It took us 2 weeks. 2 weeks. DL says, you'll love Oregon and Washington campsites. Well, thank you. I actually camped in Washington. I mean, I lived in Washington. I'll never forget it. It was my first wife, myself, and my yellow lab. And we got a tent. We went and got a tent and sleeping bags and all the camping supplies you can imagine. Well, got the car all loaded up, and we're all heading out to the campground. Of course, you know, it's Washington, in the mountains. And we're by this stream, you know, mountain stream is what it was. And we set up the tent, and she says, I think we forgot the sleeping bags. Oh my goodness, it was so cold. The dog was even shivering. It was terrible. You know, sleeping on the ground in the tent. Well, we finally decided to just sit in the car and sleep the rest of the night in the car. It will cut down on the riffraff requiring a tag, I think. Well, I just think that's quite possible, yeah. The National Forest monitored by satellite. We're watching you. Well, you know, a lot of people suggested that the National Forest needs to start tracking nomads, I guess through GPS. So that's going to be a cost too. I mean, if someone suggests that kind of legislation, imagine that kind of cost where not only you get a tag, you have to pay for this tag, but now you're going to be tracked by a government GPS system to determine where you're at in the BLMs. You know, that's going to be really costly. So, you know, now we're talking a $200 tag per year to probably a $1,000 tag per year. So, yeah, and I just think that's how it's going to work out. You know, because everybody's looking at the BLM as the nomadic lifestyle. But I don't see the BLMs being nomadic lifestyle. I see that being stuck in an area, living in your car. I mean, if I want to live in Arizona permanently, I'm not going to do it in a car. I'm going to go and buy a house. You know, if I want to live in the desert, I'm going to go buy a house. But I don't. I want to live in the country. So that's why I live in a car, is I drive around the country. So if I am being forced, this is another part of it, if I'm being forced to go live in the BLMs out west, because that's the only free camping left, then I would say the lifestyle is over. There's no point to it to me. I mean, nomadic means a wanderer. You're wandering around. And I get this impression, a lot of people believe the nomadic lifestyle means you go to Arizona. And I'm just not going to do it. I mean, first of all, I'm just not that interested in going to Arizona. I've said that many times. I want to go to see the Grand Canyon, and it's going to be a drive-through state. I'm going to drive through it on my way to Washington or, you know, somewhere up northwest, or on my way down to Texas. But it's not. So again, if I have to get settled into one area to be a nomad, then I'm not a nomad anymore, and I just will get a house. And you know, Carolyn and I will at that time discuss what state we want to live in. Sounds memorable. Not to mention the removal of privacy. Yeah, well, I wasn't going to bring that up. I thought I'd let everybody else figure that out. But a lot of people in that video that I made strongly suggested that nomads need to be tracked. It almost sounds like a country I don't want to live in. Meandering Mickey Meerkat, how you doing? Good to see you. I recently learned that of Arkansas's hot springs. Hello, outside. Good to see you. If I wanted to live in the, if I want the desert, I get a bag of sand and cactus at Lowe's. Yeah, you know, I'm kind of proud of myself. I'm gonna be honest. I watch all these nomads and they're out in their desert, and they're showing pictures of their dogs and dirt and sunrises. And so, you know, I'm really proud of myself. I'm over here by an ocean with trees and wind, and just you saw, like, I'm the only nomad out there actually showing something different, and I don't have an animal. So yes, I'm patting myself on the back like I've got a better video. Tal, good to see you, Tal. Ever think of a new truck camper, or do you like yours better? Yeah, I just talked about that, DL. No, we're going to stick with ours for a while, I'm sure. As I said, a new one, you know, I watched other YouTube videos. One channel I was watching, he bought a brand new fifth wheel. They started out on their adventure, and then their fifth wheel got put in the shop for 6 months, and they had to live in a hotel room. So with mine, you know, it took me just a few hours to put all this you know, to fix mine. It only took a few hours. It's real easy to fix, and if it gets damaged, I mean, like beyond repair damage, it costs and I know this for a fact. Last year we spent $550, and then this year another $200. So it's going to cost $750 to replace this camper, as long as the truck doesn't get damaged. But the truck's insured. So if you know, I'd much rather replace a $750 camper than having to replace a big one. Now, Nomadic Drifter. Nomadic means to be mobile. YouTube tells you that you have to go to Arizona or Florida. Yeah, I agree. I'm not understanding this philosophy that the only place to be is out west. I just don't understand it. I'm actually proving that that's not the case. But a lot of people don't believe me. Every time I make a video where I say, okay, we got this problem in this national forest, just so you're aware of it, go west because you don't have that problem. Well, the one thing that I really like about the East is it has water. You know, a lot of people will say, go west, it's so much easier out west, but they don't have water. I'm kind of fond of water. I drink a lot of water. I use a lot of water. I like showers. So, Hot Springs, Arkansas. Let's see. The problem with the western deserts around Tucson is a valley fever, a fungus infection. You know, I heard about that. Do you still do a monthly budget video? Nah, I haven't done that in a while. They weren't getting a lot of views, so I didn't want to waste everybody's time with a video that they weren't going to watch. You know, I really want to show a video where people want to learn something. So I've been really trying to focus on what people are really wanting to see. And which really appears to be like the scary stuff. They want to know about safety issues, damage. You know, anytime there's a camper damage, they watch those videos. So, what fungus causes valley fever? Okay, west is for sightseeing. That is the reason we are going there first. Yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot to see in the west, I'm sure. But there's a lot to see here everywhere. I mean, I never expected to go to the Badlands of South Dakota and open up my back door and just be dizzy, absolutely dizzy, by this picturesque scene that we saw. I mean, Carolyn saw it too. It was, we sat right here inside the camper looking out, and it was just dizzying. And I tried to get a picture of it. Actually, I think we did a live feed. And I tried to show this dizzying feeling, and I wasn't able to reproduce it on the video. I mean, it just, it was just, it was like staring into a picture. It was beautiful. I camp in Kentucky in winter. with the real ID that's rolling out now, how can you get a driver's license with no home state address? I do have a home state address. I live in Missouri. I have a street address. There's a house, you know, and that's where I probably will go, right? If something were to happen to us right now and we had to go live in a house, we would probably go to that street address and live. So no, I have Missouri plates. I have a Missouri driver's license. I am insured in Missouri. I pay Missouri taxes. I've got a video coming up about that. Everybody seems to think I don't pay taxes as a nomad, but I pay a lot of taxes. I paid $800 or $400 property tax for the truck, and then I had to pay another $60 city tax. I pay Missouri state tax, and then I pay federal tax. So no, I'm a Missouri resident through and through with an actual street address in Missouri. And for some reason, a lot of people think you got to be, and I made a video about this too, domicile, which will be released in South Dakota. But I think that's dangerous. I think if too many people start getting in the domicile in South Dakota, they're going to change the laws. I mean, if you put 1 million new residents in South Dakota and say, okay, you don't have to pay taxes because South Dakota don't have state tax, well, South Dakota isn't going to be making any money, because nobody's going to be in the state spending money, because I'm sure that's how they collect the revenue, is through sales tax. Well, if they got 1 million new residents and they all live in Arizona in a camper, but their address is in Arizona, they're going to say, wait, this is a bad idea. Plus, now there's 1 million new voters in South Dakota. So as politics would change, I don't want to get into a political conversation, that's not what I'm saying, but let's say they're one party right now, and 1 million new residents start voting a different party. Well, now, you know, you got a new party, and they're going to change laws. Anytime you get a new party, laws change. So I think this advertisement of domicile in South Dakota is a dangerous idea. I think you domicile. I think you need to have a permanent address in the state that you live in. You are a resident of that state. You've changed the political environment in that state. You pay the taxes in that state. You built the roads in that state. Why are you leaving the state? So, you know, go to South Dakota so they'll change their laws. I don't know. I'm a big historian, and I believe that states is your home. That's what you developed. You know, George Washington was big in that. So I think the desert is okay if you stay inside with an AC. Midwest and East, so much to see and do. Valley Fever, I don't remember what it's called. Let's see. 1313 of Mockingbird Lane. Anyone recognize that? I dated myself. Yeah, Addams Family. Yeah, absolutely.
Monsters.
Addams Family.
Monsters.
Carolyn says the Monsters. Who's right? Agreed with, is it? You know, you might be right. It is the Monsters.
Yeah.
Ah!
With the Frankenstein book and do.
Well, Linda agreed with me. Lisa agrees with you. I agree, they will change that. Let's see. Yeah, Addams Family, Munsters. Indiana has a luxury tax on RVs with bathrooms. Indiana has a luxury tax on RVs with bathrooms. There you go. Munsters, what are your plans for summer travel? I'm looking forward to following you. Yeah, we're going to try to head northwest as much as possible. Well, look at there. There's Carolyn right there. Wow. Western BC is full of beautiful forest, lakes, rivers, wildlife, small towns, big cities, oceans. Plan to be a nomad right away, right here for a while. Tell you are a military guy. Why is that? I keep my current address as home base while traveling. Feel no need to jump through hoops. Yeah, I think it'd be a big pain, actually. Vote on your state of your residence before you went in. So, yeah, I'm glad we were able to get through that without a lot of political conversation. That's not what I was trying to do. I was just saying the political environment would change in South Dakota eventually. And that's one of the things I have such a struggle with is a lot of these YouTube videos are saying, okay, do this, do this, do this, but they don't really talk about what that is going to do in the future. You know, 1 million people come out to the BLMs. Well, the BLMs are going to change. That's just going to be the reality of it. And nobody's talking about that change. You know, everybody become a domicile in South Dakota. Well, the political environment and the taxes and all that's going to change. So everybody's going to move to South Dakota. South Dakota's going to change the laws. And then everybody's going to like, well, now what? So, you know, and the thing is as you get older, you need to be thinking about your future. Were you a submariner? Yeah, that was today's video. I was on a submarine. I was on the USS Georgia, which was a ballistic submarine, a ballistic missile submarine, SSBN 729. Now it's called guided missile, so it's SSGN. So it used to be SSBN, now it's SSGN. I don't know when they changed it, but it sounds silly now. It sounds like silly. Sharon says, hi Rob, late to the party. Well, better late than never. PG says, good evening, Rob. Hope. Well, a lot of people, but not much conversation. Recent follower, and now I dropped the rest. Well, thank you, DH. I do appreciate it. Well, look, you know, I don't have a lot of thrills on my videos. I know it. I'm not a very good editor, to be honest. I don't have the fancy equipment. I have a 5-year-old phone, which I do all my recording on. You know, I'm trying to figure out how to get the wind noise out of it. I've tried different things. But the one thing you'll get from me is the honest truth, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly. You know, I'm not telling everybody to go to South Dakota and become a resident because in my eyes, I think that's going to change. I do, and I'm not telling everybody. I'm trying to warn everybody that eventually it's all going to be paid, all of it. And I'm pretty sure whoever was telling me that I need to go out west has left this live feed, probably has unsubscribed because he's mad that, you know, I told the truth that it's going to change. I've been researching, and you can see the numbers. You know, they put out these yearly reports telling the budget and how much money they need and how much money they have, and it's not adding up, and they know it's not adding up. So for me to sit here and say, oh yeah, come on out here, you're gonna love it, and then next year it all ends, well, that's irresponsible of me. So you need to have all the information. Tal says, yes, some people are starting to note many things that you've always talked about. Yeah, you know, I'm starting to see that, Tal. I really have. I was a member of Mailbox American, and they just up and went out of business. Had to change address back home. Yeah, see, and that's the thing is those other YouTubers. I think I'm on the right page here. Nomadic Drifter was saying everybody go to do this, go do this, go do this, and then it changed, went out of business, and so all these people all of a sudden didn't have mail. I mean, you know, that's a big deal. Sharon Wells. Oh, okay. Talking to someone else. You're real. Well, thank you, Deal. Question. How do you deal with mice, snakes, etc.? Or don't you get any in the truck? Yeah, we get mice. You know, we haven't had a real problem with mice in the truck. We know that we've had at least 2. Both of them left on their own, never came back. We had one like the week we started this adventure in this camper. Had one a few days ago. We know because we saw the droppings. We put out a mouse trap. Hadn't seen a sign of it since. I think it's so small, I think they get kind of scared off. They don't stick around. But in the pop-up camper, we had a problem. I mean, it was always, you know, mice and snakes. When we went to Virginia, man, the black snakes were terrible there. I mean, they were just everywhere. And I was trying to shoo this one away with a rake. What was it, a rake? Or what was it? Shovel? I guess it was shovel. And I'm trying to shoo him away. And boy, I mean, he headed right for the door of the camper and started to go up in the camper. Oh, no. I caught a snake. I caught a mouse in the pop-up once with a little coleslaw. You know, you buy those coleslaw tubs at Walmart. So, yeah, you get mice and snakes, yeah. Do you guys miss being able to plant a garden? No, I don't. wondering if we are related. Arthur Wells wants to know if we're related. I don't know.
No, he was talking to Sharon Wells.
Oh, okay. Oh, gosh. Here we go. Better late than never. Hi, Kathleen. Good to see you. Have you ever missed the military and wish you had stayed in? Nope. Nope. Military did its job for me, educated me very well, and I've been very successful out here. And I've always looked at it that way, that the military gave me the confidence to be successful on the outside. I've started my own company, ran my own company for 10 years, and was a manager, a production manager, pretty highfalutin, and had lots of employees that worked for me at my last job. And now, you know, look at me now. So no, I feel like I've done really well outside the military. John, great idea becoming the first nomadic submariner of the entire ocean. And Sharon says, Arthur, Sharon, get a cat. Okay, the content you give and your wisdom is way above beyond production values, and they are not bad at all. Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Same as us, Rob. I think people prefer to see raw footage, not movie-style videos. Well, thank you. Wow, that is great. I'm glad people see. In my state, but I am trying to work on that wind noise. I really am. Today I went down to the beach and it was just impossible. You know, I put a piece of plastic, like the actual paneling, like this, to try to keep the wind out, and I pointed the backside of all this to the wind, and that didn't help at all. So I'm really trying to figure out how to do the wind and get that all worked out. In my state, you have to live 6 months or longer each year to be a resident and get a driver's license. In my state, you have to live 6 months or longer each year to be a resident and get a driver's license. Andrew, see, I don't understand what that means. I live in the state of Missouri. Right now, I am visiting Florida. And I don't think this is a skew on the law. I have not changed my address. I have my residence. So I'm visiting Florida. And I think I can visit Florida for as long as I want to visit Florida. You want to check with your own state laws, of course. But you're not living, when you're in Florida, you're not living in Florida, you're visiting Florida. You're still paying taxes in your home state. My street address is still there. It's still maintained. Everything's there. So I'm not sure that 6 months or longer is a true statement. I understand the confusion, but it's the word live that I think people are getting confused. You're not living out here. As a matter of fact, when a ranger comes out to you, and I see a lot of this on YouTube, when a ranger comes up to you and says, "Where do you live?" Don't say, "My camper." When a ranger comes and says, "Where do you live?" I say, "Missouri," because that's where I live. I'm visiting Florida in my camper. That is a true statement. Because in a lot of states, it's illegal to live in your camper. So then but I've seen this when people crossing the border. And they say, "Where do you live?" And they say, "In our camper." And the Canadian border's like, "What? No, huh?" Sharon Wells says, "I'm married in..." Okay, oh, sorry, they have traps at Walmart. They do have traps. Yeah, oh, yeah. Nomad with white beard talked me into... He leaded a lot of folks astray. Yeah, you know, I get compliments all the time. Says, please, or says, "Thank you very much. You really changed my mind on this." And I do. And they use his name specifically to say, you know, he convinced us this was the great lifestyle. And, you know, people say, well, those folks need to take personal responsibility. Well, they don't have any information telling them differently. If everything's like, this is gold, you know, look at this product. It's the best product on the market. You're going to love it. And you can't find anything that says anything bad about it. Nothing. And so you buy it like a car from a car salesman. And all of a sudden it's a piece of junk. Well, yes, I guess it was your responsibility that you bought a piece of junk. But in the end, the dealer sold you a piece of junk. And so when you buy something, you take it back to the dealer and say, hey, dealer, you're held responsible for this piece of junk that you sold me. But when it comes to YouTube videos, there's nobody out there saying, oh, wait, think about this first. And so then they say, well, you can't hold the YouTuber responsible. Well, yes, you can. They sold you a bill of goods that was no good. No Fear says, hey, Rob, come down the mountain a bit and get a better cell signal. You're coming in 5 by now. We're not in the mountain. Are we having problems? Somebody's saying there's problems. Janet says, Oklahoma. Well, good to see you. Snakes, yes, snakes. Yeah, Tal, you know, probably there were mice in my camper. That's why the snakes wanted to get in there. Oklahoma is okay. It's not fabulous. Those Arizona YouTubers seem to use light under their vehicles to keep the mice away. Yeah, I've heard that, yeah. I love your natural videos. The wind is not a deal breaker at all. Well, thank you, DH. Or DL. Nomadic Drifter, try some fuzzy on the phone or maybe a cotton ball by the mic. I have. I actually took a piece of tape and put over the mic today, and it made it worse. It was better just put my hand in front of it. But it was really windy. MA says, I love the wind, waves, gulls screeching, and leaves crunching. Thank you. I'd say keep the sound the way it is. Thank you very much. Oscar says, good advice. He's stating that you have to be domiciled in that state. I live in Minnesota and have to reside there for more than 6 months. Okay, well, maybe I'm wrong. Living, visiting, not the same as set up a domicile. Dead cat and mice, they went sideways in a hurry. You certainly changed my mind. Well, thank you, Lisa. I'm glad I could help. I mean, that's always good to hear that, you know, I gave you some more food for thought. Can you use an external mic? You know, I thought about that. I'm going to have to look into those. That with a fuzzy mic cover. Yeah, John. Tricia, I live in a house with 2 cats. I still got mice. Not even mice want to live in Indiana. I was forced away from home, and Air Force maintained Texas residency the whole time. Yeah, see, now, that's true. I went to Washington, and I was a Missouri resident. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you are going to be 10,000 soon. Yeah, I think within the week. I've been getting about, on average, well, the last week I got 30 subscribers a day. So I'm pretty excited. We're doing pretty good. Wednesdays are always the slowdown for some reason. But yeah, we're getting close. We got 200 more to go. I live in a sleeper, Missouri. When I was a little kid, still feel some kind of connection every time I drive through Missouri on I-44. I-44 is beautiful in the fall, isn't it? Oh, I happen to like Indiana. Let's see. Mothballs is great. I live in a huge lake town in a town of 5,000. He was saying that he came down to the mountain to get a better signal. Ah, okay. I came down the mountain. Okay, I thought it was us having problems. I don't come in this chat to insult anyone. Whoa, somebody insulting somebody? I didn't mean to. 10K, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, we're getting there. Where are we at? Well, I'm sure we're not at 10K today, are we? I'm right here, so I'm just looking to see what we're at. Yep, 2,000. We got 202 more to go. All right, good evening, Oscar. Good to see you. I'm not there yet. Don't congratulate me yet. You know, we don't want to jinx it. Take away your congratulations. Delete that comment. You didn't insult me, Rob. Oh, good, because I didn't mean to. I'm just trying to speak the truth as politically correct as I possibly can. He retracted the message. Thank you, RC. Yeah, and Lisa says, no jinxes. That's too funny. Oh, look at that. Time flies when you're having fun. All right, guys. Well, I guess I'll see you. Congrats on 9999. So anyway, I'll see you next week. So thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you like the video. And happy travels. Thinking forward. Yeah, I do appreciate it. Good night, Meandering Meerkat. Good night, Hobo. Good night, DL. When you said subservice, I can understand small campers. Yeah. I'm tired of too old to be politically correct. Night all. Good night, Trish. Good night, HW. Good night, Harley. Good night, Roy. Good night, Sharon. Good night, Tao. Good night, Harry. And good night, John. That was fun. Good night. You'll see you, Jeff. Take care, Dexter. And I surf fish. Good night. Good night, Nomadic. Good night, Steve. Oh, Steve, I didn't know you were here. Good night, M.A. Crochet that dead cat over Carolyn. But only if Rob wants to change the sound. Oh. Adios. Watch for twisters. Good night, Daryl. Thank you.